here we go. I have a whole may take a whole half hour, 2 hours. I don't know. Well, I wrote down some things, and I want everybody to know that I'm getting up there in the age now. I need to go back to school for a little bit. But anyhow, I was, like I said before, I was born in Wrightsville. And that is dear to my heart. When I was a little girl growing up, there was many things that I look back in my life that I could say that was so enjoyable and pleasant. And
like what?
This, I used to, let me get around to what I got to say. Take time, Lynn. Wait a minute. I wrote this down now, just be patient. First of all, when I was a little young girl, I used to go to Sunday school every Sunday morning. I would be in Sunday school, and I love to sing. So that was a part of my early days in Sunday school, and going to church. I always liked to go to church. I ushered, and I sang in the choir, and I did everything else that they asked me to do to participate in the church. And I used to love to sing solos. I don't know why I thought I was so good, but my favorite song and the only one that I knew was Jesus Loved Me, This I Know. I sung that all the time. So I guess everybody got used to that. Let me see.
Being married at the church?
I got married at the church, and that's been 50.
Right here.
And that's been 50, how many years ago? 57?
57 years.
57 years. Woo! It's a long time.
And the church still standing.
And the church is still standing there after all those years. And it was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful wedding. I would never forget that one either. I used to love to wait for Christmas time, because at church we had some lovely, lovely plays. And we were always after practice. And Miss Barnett, Miss Hembry, and Miss Wilson, there was quite a few people that would be in charge, and they would have us, studying our parts and everything. And we would be playing around and making them mad, not wanting to stay right to what we were supposed to do. So, but all of that was in the fun too. Let me see now. Oh yeah, I remember one play that we had, and we all had to be dressed in white, and we all stood on the pulpit. These were the people that was in the play, the kids that were in the play. And of course we had prayer. We were having prayer, and everybody of course bared their heads when we had our prayer. And we were holding candles in our hands at the time. And I had bit my head down. My hair caught on fire. And I, off the pulpit, ran to the front door trying to get out and get help. I don't know, my hair was blue. And I remember Carl Robinson stopped me at the door. He was sitting in the back. He stopped me at the door, took his coat off and threw it over my head. And it stopped the burn out of my hair. I had some left though, quite a bit of hair left, but it was, poof. Everybody was going absolutely crazy, and so was I, because my head was on fire. I will never, ever forget that one. So when I bear my head down to pray now, I think about that thing. I say, ain't nothing around me on fire, burning, because I don't want my hair kept on fire again. Oh Lord, that was something else. Let me see. I used to go to choir rehearsals, and we had a ball in choir rehearsal because some of us were, the older kids in the church sung with the adults. And we, like all kids, we made fun of the adults trying to sing. And the voice, and they saying, some of them saying so bad, we used to laugh our heads off, making fun, laughing. And those people was, whew, they thought they were singing too. So anyway, we had fun right there. I had a good time with that one too. Let's see.
They going in the lane and playing in the playground.
And on Wednesday, wait a minute, on Wednesdays, we had prayer meeting at church. And we were always, all of us young kids would go to prayer meeting on Wednesday. We had to go to that. So we were really brought up in the church, and we know all about God, believe me. And all the good things that came about, and it was from the raising of the people in the community and people in the church. And right now, I thank God that I was a part of that, and I can realize now the essence of it, what good it done to me, for me. There was a lady, I think Pam, and I don't know who else, but I know Pam. Pam knows this little lady. And she would, she was funny, but she was nice. She would run out in the water because she didn't have running water in her house. And she would come up the little bank, that's our house, to use our water. That was a faucet outside that she used. And she would come up and get her water, and it was very agile for a woman of her age. She was up in the age, and she was cooking for her son. She loved him to death. I got one more thing I think I got to say. The Easter egg hunt we used to have at Easter time, and the bushes would be real, real high, grown up, and the ladies would go out from the church and hide the eggs, and we'll have to go over there and find them. And each one that found, of course, I do it now. I mean, find the most eggs were the winner of different prizes. That was a big deal. Oh, and the sleigh ride parties that we used to have, oh my God. We used to have such a good time with that one. In front of my house is where they would build the fire. The boys would find the tires from the cars, old cars, and they would put them out on the side, and that kept us warm. And we stayed out there for hours and hours at night after the snow fell, and we go down all those little hills. Oh, we had a good time. And all the guys took care of me, my uncle, my oldest brother, and they looked after me when I was doing my on my sleigh ride. And that was something I will never forget. And I loved that for hours and hours and hours and hours.
Tell them about how your house got moved over there.
My grandfather lived on the other side of the highway years ago, and he had a beautiful home there. And they moved that house when the new highway came on the other side. I forget the numbers of the highway. And he moved from one side to the other. That was one grandfather. I had two grandfathers that lived there on that side of the highway. And the one house was moved and still sitting today behind the house where my parents lived and I lived. And that was something else too. I could go back and back and back. The other grandfather, they took his home and he had to relocate he went over into Covington to live. He had bought a house over there. And that's where he ended up living. And let's see, what else was it?
And I cut in right down and say that I wasn't born in Wrightsville. I'm Shirley's husband. We've been together for 57 beautiful years. And we have 3 beautiful kids, 2 daughters and a son. I'm proud of them. And I would like to say I was born in Covington, which is about 2 miles or a mile and a half from Wrightsville. But yeah, I used to come over and court Shirley. We were both in the same school, Watson High. And when I used to come over to see Shirley, I'd knock on the door, and they would let me in. I would speak to Mr. and Mrs. Qualls, and I would sit on the chair and the couch talking to Shirley. And at that time, my sister-in-law, Pamela, was about 10 years old. For some reason, every time I went to see Shirley, she wanted to sit in the middle. So I had to entertain Pamela and Shirley, but I enjoyed it. But I ended up marrying Shirley, and Mr. and Mrs. Qualls were the most beautiful people you ever want to meet. We would come home for the holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, and for the summer, and she would always cook us a very, very tasty meal. And they always made me welcome to be there. And I'm glad to be a part of that family. That's the story of my association with Wrightsville. Thank you. Hello, Pam. Shirley?
What is,
We going back and forth to the playground. The playground was something else that was amazing too, because they had some women that was interested in the children, the youth in our community, and they all got together and they had this club, and they decided that what could they do for our children, because at the time there was quite a few kids over there. So they decided that they were going to build us a playground. Woo, Lord, hallelujah. How many people can say that they had a big old playground? Not many, but boy, and they brought the swings, the sliding boards, all the horseshoe rings. And boy, that was about 3 or 4 different things that they had. But boy, we enjoyed them. All did we enjoy them. And we would get tore up if we didn't get home. And like your parents would tell you, you know, you go and you come back at some time. They ended up having to send somebody to get us home, because we loved that place. I could muscle up on those swing poles, just like I don't know who. And from the bottom to the top, I could muscle all the way up and swing back. Oh my God, you should have seen it. I was very agile. Woo! We had so much fun. I remember those days. And they had a little house that you could go in and you could play cards, card games, you know, or any kind of games that you could sit down and play. Checkers, that kind of thing. That was fun too. And horseshoes, oh my God, the guys used to tear up the horseshoes, and that was fun also. All of that was good fun back in that day. How many people could say they had a thing like that in their neighborhood? Not many. And it was something that you wouldn't forget. We had so much fun. Another thing I want to talk to real quick. It was, we used to sit, older people used to sit around on the porch. They had porches then. And they used to sit around and talk a lot and reminisce. And we used to, I used to be right up under them, boy. That's where I learned a lot. To hear them talk at night. You know, in the evening after dinner, you sit on the porch and they be talking about this and that and the other. And here we are, the younger people, we'd be running around, not interested, but I would always listen. I would sit there and listen and look and listen. And it was a beautiful thing to breathe at night, because it was very hot during the day, you know. And just to sit on the porch and relax and lay down there and lay all your burdens there. That's what we don't do today. That was old stuff. But some of that old stuff sure mean a lot today. If people just take a little time and reminisce a little bit, they can make it through. Yep. Let me see. I could go on and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. Oh, one other thing. at my grandfather's house, he, not far from where he lived, was a place that did what do you call it? Sawmill, like a saw. It was a sawmill, and they used to the what you call those things, the shavings from the wood, the that would come from the wood, and it would
The
be
sawdust. Sawdust.
it was so high, and it would be it's very dangerous if children would play in it, jump in and play in it. And we used to sneak away from the house and go down the hill and call ourselves playing in that sawdust, and that was dangerous. And I had an uncle, and sometimes I think he used to babysit us. And boy, oh boy, he used to line us up. I don't know how many it was. My older brother, me, I don't know, and the uncle. It was probably 5 or 6 of us. He'd line us up and bring us up the hill. He said, if I catch you back again, I'm gonna hurt you. He would have a twig. He would get that switch and tear our legs up. He said, that's the most dangerous thing you kid could do is go down there and play in that sawdust. You all could die. You could suffocate to death if you get in that sawdust, which it was. We didn't know the difference. We was having fun, jumping up and down, playing around. So you know what? That was one of the things in my life that I remember that was very, very funny. And growing up, you know, you learn how to take it from there. I know I probably didn't bring too much to the table, but anyway, that was something that fun things that I remembered in my lifetime in Wrightsville. And I hope and pray that it'll stay Wrightsville and don't ever change as far as the word. And I hope that young people will decide to come back and build it up, you know, and stay there, and don't let nobody take it away.
One time with a lot of people in Wrightsville, right?
Yeah, it used to be a lot of families in Wrightsville, a lot. So you know what? It was fun time there for me. I don't know about nobody else. Enjoyed it.
I have to agree with Miss because that's one of the favorite spots I would always look forward to being in. Is the old home place. It was such a warmth, and the family was so outgoing, and they understood everybody's problems, and whatever you had to say, you said, get off your mind, and that was it. And like Mrs. said, we had a lot of affairs. We put up a tent, and we'd have like bands, and entertainment would come in, and everybody, community team from over town, which was Covington, would come over from Clifton Fords and all around. Everybody just enjoyed themselves. And my sister-in-law, Pamela, would always bring the fish from Richmond. We would have a fish fry, and it was just a beautiful place it was almost like a community center if you really think about it, because everybody that lived in that area knew something was going on, and they would be there. But everything was always done peaceful, never had no problem. We all understood one another. And like I said, that was one of my favorite places that I remember coming to Covington and Wrightsville. And I get a chance to come back again, I will. Me and my wife right now, she had to move to another room, but I'm trying to speak for her too, and I'm pretty sure she would say that's one of her favorite spots too. And I would just like to say that I've enjoyed talking to everyone, and I hope everything materializes with the plans that's going forward. And Missy and Pam have put a lot of time into what they're trying to do to make the improvement. And I'm pretty sure once this improvement gets started, and a lot of people's going to want to come back to Wrightsville to be there to enjoy the scenery and the modern things that's going on, and just enjoy one another like we used to years ago. And it is possible. And just give the praise to God that these things long time coming, and that it will happen. And I enjoy talking to everyone, and everyone have a pleasant day and a blessed day.